It's going to be a rocky 4 years, but we will not give up on Ukraine. In fact, the fight is just starting, and Zelensky made a move recently that has a lot of MAGA people fuming on Twitter. We learned that Zelensky is doing a 3-hour podcast with Lex Fridman, which is a podcast, a platform that typically serves as a safe haven for right-wing voices and Putin apologists. Lex Fridman himself is a huge Putin apologist, even if he doesn't know it. Even if it's unwittingly, he plays defense for Putin. So Zelensky is stepping in to enemy territory, and I'm hoping this can help combat some of the disinformation that we've been fighting back against lately. But let's be clear. Lex has a history of not only leaning into pro-Russian narratives, but he interviewed Trump. He kissed Trump's ass, and then he also once scrapped an interview with a Ukrainian journalist. This reads right here. Lex Fridman once did an interview with Ponomarenko, a journalist from Ukraine, but didn't release it because he didn't like what was being said. Hearing two sides works only if Russia is in question, right, Lex Fridman? And Lex Fridman will constantly have pro-Russia voices on. Lex Fridman will constantly kiss Putin's ass, but when he actually had a Ukrainian journalist that was able to push back, he didn't release the episode. He even tweeted this out. It was an honor and pleasure to meet and have a great conversation with Ponomarenko, a war reporter from Donbass, Ukraine, but Fridman never ever released this interview. So I find it incredibly important that Zelensky is stepping into the lion's den to present this case directly to an audience that's been fed a steady diet of propaganda. It's kind of like the Pete Buttigieg model. Pete Buttigieg always says, hey, if we go on Fox News, if we meet these people where they're at, we can change a lot of minds of people who otherwise mean well. And honestly, I've been saying this for a while too. If you've been watching my content for a while, you know that I've been to countless Trump rallies, and I don't go there to be an asshole. I go there to usually inch people back towards reality. But I want to explain to you why this is a strategic masterstroke, and it's also exposing how unhinged the MAGA crowd has become about Ukraine in particular. Because if we look at Elon Musk's replies, and we're going to look at Elon Musk's replies, people are not happy. So first of all, let's start off with this clip of Joe Rogan last week saying that he rejected a Zelensky appearance.
I hope it's true. I hope it's true. They're trying to come up with some sort of a... Zelensky tried to come on.
Whoa!
Yeah, they tried to get Zelensky on. I was like, what are you talking about?
So when you get an offer for somebody, they must come at your booker.
What are you talking about? That is Joe Rogan's response, and it makes me wonder if Putin wanted to come on and present his side of the story, would Joe Rogan accept? I have a feeling that he would be much more likely to accept that, but for some reason, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Lex Fridman probably, this crowd thinks that Zelensky is some sort of slimy salesman who is not pro-democracy and who is actually robbing the US, while Putin is just a little baby who got triggered into doing this invasion even though he didn't want to. They remove all agency from Russia and say that Russia was sucked into this war, and then act like Zelensky is some puppet master. Maybe because he's Jewish, maybe because they're pro-Putin. I can't tell exactly what it is, but let's go over to Elon Musk's tweet. So, somebody tweeted out the power of X on full display, and you see Lex Fridman's original tweet saying, I would love to do a 3-hour podcast with @Zelensky. I will come to Kyiv for it. Let's do it. And Zelensky said, agreed. See you in Ukraine, Lex Fridman. And I think this is a great idea for a few reasons, because Zelensky really can't look bad. Even if Lex Fridman pushes super hard, Zelensky is on the right side of history. He can say, I'm fighting for my country's sovereignty. I'm fighting for our freedom. He can present his side of the story, and I just hope that he has people around him prepping the hell out of him, making sure that he has all of these talking points on hand, making sure that he can speak in sound bites, because honestly, that's really important in this day and age. But what I want to do is read some of the replies of Elon Musk's tweet. Elon Musk says, true, to the idea that X is like this new town square that brings people together. But all of the people in his replies, all of these MAGA Trump supporters, all of these Elon Musk fans are pissed off at this. Kevin Sorbo, a big MAGA person on Twitter, said, on behalf of all Americans, see if you can get a refund, implying that Zelensky has somehow ripped the U.S. off when we've been sending them old stockpiled military equipment and in turn protecting the sovereignty of an allied nation, which by the way is the breadbasket of the world, and stopping Vladimir Putin in his tracks. Wall Street Apes said, I'd be careful. Zelensky is just going to ask Lex for money. I don't know, is that an anti-Semitic joke? I can't tell what that is. Gunther Eagleman, one of the biggest MAGA people on Twitter, said, all leaders should communicate on this platform. Lord have mercy. Follow me on Blue Sky, by the way. Kevin Sorbo responded again and said, watch out. He might put you in a dance video. These people are all just glazing Elon Musk. Someone said, we want our funds back. Can you ask for my money back? These are genuinely Russian. Somebody right here said, this one is perfect. Someone put a picture of a Russian stooge typing away and says, quote, can you ask for my money back? Implying or pointing out that all of these people are absolute Russian stooges. But the broader point here, if we back up for 1 second, is that MAGA is having a meltdown. They're losing their mind at this. They are going nuclear because Elon Musk simply said that it's good Zelensky is going on Lex Fridman's podcast. Of course, the comments are flooded with the same pro-Russia apologist mocking Zelensky, claiming that he doesn't care about Ukrainian sovereignty. He's just ripping the US off. They're making jokes about US aid to Ukraine as if this is a laughing matter. And I can't lie, Putin is right now salivating, seeing that 40% of Americans totally believe his propaganda, and Elon Musk is playing a big role in this. He is amplifying all of this nonsense through his misinformation machine, we can call it, from spreading conspiracy theories about Zelensky, always making fun of him. And I really quickly want to play this clip of Destiny explaining exactly why Ukraine is fighting for their sovereignty. And this may be the best explanation I've heard to date. Listen closely because this is powerful.
But my understanding, and the thing that matters to me more than the broader context, is the million people in the dirt, dude. A million fucking conscripts in the dirt.
That's fine, okay? But when you care about things like dead people, you're coming from the West, where that's like the most important thing to care about, right? Like just whether or not somebody's alive or dead is like the most important thing to care about, okay? That's all that matters, because you have a country, you have a narrative, you have a story, you've got a government, you've got all these things that are working for you, okay? And now all you have to think about is, okay, well, am I going to die or am I going to live, or is this person going to die or live? And that's it, okay? Right. When you look at, and there's broader narratives here that even I don't understand, because I'm not a part of it, because I don't have that lived experience. So I'm very, very, very loosely about what people say, okay? But Eastern Europe has fought for legitimacy. Places like Poland have fought for legitimacy to be included in the Western world for decades, okay? This idea of breaking from the Soviet Union, of being your own country. Like, we are a people. We are more than just foreign fucking workers for British people. We're more than just temporary visa stays, to work in the summer and then go back to our shitty Eastern European countries. Like, we want to fight our corruption. We want to join the rest of the world. We want to be real countries with real people that are free of like corrupt and crazy leaders and bureaucrats that are trying to fuck us over constantly. Like, we're trying to become a thing, okay? And Ukraine has been historically a country that's had a lot of issues with corruption and a lot of issues with trying to break from that stereotype of Eastern European destitution. And they were on the path to doing that. And they had a leader who was, the populist support was, hey, we're finally going to have access to European markets. We're finally going to make a deal with the European Union. We're finally moving in that direction. And then they had a leader who was like, actually, no, we're going to go back to Russia, get fucked. And as a result of like all the protests and all of the riots and all of this, they have their huge 2014 Euromaidan. And basically what they see in front of them is, oh, it's business as usual. Here comes Russia, there goes Crimea, and now we're back in this world where we're going to be subjugated by Russia. We're not a Western country. We're not even a real country. We're a group of fucking losers who nobody else in the rest of the world wants to help or do anything for. Obama's not doing fuck all for us. Europe isn't doing fuck all for us, and now Russia's fucking with our shit again.
It's an abrasive explanation, but it's a really good explanation, and I think that we should champion people who can explain this in certain ways, even if those people are imperfect. I'm going to make other videos about the left, purity testing. I'm the biggest liberal in the world, but I think people on the left, people on our side, sometimes purity test a little bit too hard, and I'll talk about that later. That was a great explanation. Drop a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace out.